All right, here goes nothing. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. If you can, put it in the chat. You know the drill. In the meantime, I'm trying out a whole new setup here today. I've got my screen shared. Hopefully, you can see that. Still waiting for some things to come in the chat here. It's a little bit delayed. I think it's like 10 or 15 seconds delayed, but yeah. New software, sharing my screen. And what we're going to do is I'm going to watch this video I made of my Appalachian Trail thru hike. All the videos, and there's also a lot of pictures too, came from my Instagram stories when I was thru hiking. I didn't have a camera back then. I didn't have a channel. I'm seeing people tell me it sounds good. Does everything... Whoa, hit the mic. Does everything look good? Can you tell I'm a little nervous about this right now? I really want to make sure the software works. Can you guys see everything? You should have me in the corner, and then the screen right here. Anyways, yeah. So on my thru hike of the Appalachian Trail, I didn't have my channel back then. I wasn't a video person. I just had my cell phone, and so I posted on my Instagram story throughout the hike, and that's all I had to film it basically. And so when I first started this channel, obviously, I wanted to... Also, Taylor already noticed the board game in the background. That's funny. When I first started this channel, I wanted to have some content from my hike on the channel, but all I had was my Instagram stories. And so I put together this video. I'm sure some of you have seen it, although it's, again, a really old video, so maybe some of you guys haven't seen it. But it's basically just all of my Instagram stories put together into one, half an hour video. And every now and then, I like to go back... Uh-oh, my camera's giving me the low battery sign. Ooh, that's not a good sign. I just put in a fresh battery. It said it was 100%. Oh boy, that's bad news, folks. Oh shit. What the hell? I literally just put in a fresh battery. All right, we're just gonna run with it. And if something happens, then that's gonna be bad news. I got a couple other batteries here, but oh man, that's freaking me out now. We're gonna try it. Hopefully, it's just a fluke. Anyways. Yeah, so I put together this video of all my Instagram stories, and so every now and then I like to go back and watch it, and it makes me really nostalgic, obviously. And I remember the last time I watched this video, I was just thinking in my head, I was like, I remember extra details about this little video clip or this picture that I didn't mention in the video, or you couldn't tell in the picture. So I thought it'd be a cool video or a cool live stream idea to go through and watch, and then I'll pause the video and give some extra details and just reminisce. This is a video for me, I make a lot of content for you guys, but I thought this would just be fun for me, even if it's not the most interesting thing for you guys, although I'm hoping it'll be interesting. Anyways, I've been neglecting the chat here while I do that ramble there, so I'm still happy to answer questions. It's not going to be quite the same as a normal live stream, probably, because I'm going to be focused on the video here. But if you do have questions, there's a chance I'll get to them. Certainly, if you do the super chats, obviously, you're paying money, I'll get to your super chat, and then maybe I'll glance over there every now and then. There's so much going on here. I'm already stressed out about the battery. It's just flashing red right in front of my face. I'm really hoping. So if I just go offline all of a sudden, although I think if that happens, the stream will stay up and you'll hopefully still hear me, but you might lose my video. Oh man, that sucks. I think there might be something wrong with my camera, honestly, because I just put in a new battery. Anyways, I'm going to get this started in just a second. I just want to give folks some time to come in, and also give folks some time to hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button so that way the algorithm will show more people this, and then just in time for them to tune in, my camera will die and I will look like an idiot. That's what we need to do. So yeah, everybody hit the like button, and I will start this video in this video right here. Can you guys see my mouse on there? You should be able to. It gives me a feed of what you guys are seeing, but it's delayed by a number of seconds, so it's kind of tripping me out too to see myself talking. I don't even know. This is new software for me. I'm using OBS Studio for this, but anyways, yeah, we got 88 people in. What's going on, everybody? We got Kaiser Wilhelm, New Hampshire, who joins these live streams very often. Thank you very much. We got Chris Bentley, who is a Patreon supporter. By the way, I linked the, I pinned the Patreon link up top there, by the way. If you really want to help out the channel, please go check out the Patreon. Flossie and I have a really exciting announcement that a lot of you already know what it is, coming very soon, hopefully next week. Still finalizing the details, but we're all in. So, anyways, I'm gonna get this video going here one more time. If you're just tuning in, I have a video of every Instagram story that I took on my Appalachian Trail thru hike in 2018. And I'm going to watch it and react to it and reminisce and probably not answer as many questions as I should, which is not a good sell. So forget that I said that. And yeah, I'll answer just a couple questions here. I'm just giving folks a little bit more time to get in. This person said, how did you not speak to the fact that you and Flossie both had foot injuries at Cranberry 50? I'm not sure what you mean by how did you not speak to the fact. But yes, Flossie and I both had foot injuries, although mine was probably worse than his was. He was fine after a couple days, but it took me like a month to get over mine, a little bit more than that, honestly. I'll do like a couple more questions here, and then we'll get into this. Camera's still rolling. I'm nervous about this. Maybe I should just start going now, just in case the camera dies. Although at that point, I'm still going to look like an idiot. So, you know what? Screw it. Let's get into it. So, all right. It's going to be a little bit awkward because some of these clips are just pictures where there's no audio. So, yeah. But anyways, also, once the first video clip comes up, you guys should be able to hear it. But somebody just put in the chat to make sure that you can hear it. Okay, let's do it. In 2018, I thru-hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. The following is... I don't need to narrate the whole thing. But yeah, it's all my Instagram stories. Many AT YouTubers... I can't even keep up. I don't even remember what bullshit I wrote here. Yeah, it's super raw and unfiltered. That's how I tried to spin it. Right now I'm on Springer Mountain, which is the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. I think I'm gonna try to hike it all. So, mile 0, here we go. All right, someone give me just a thumbs up that you can hear the audio from when I was talking in the video there. And I'll talk about that first day climbing up Springer Mountain. I was so fucking nervous. You can kind of tell a little bit in the clip there. Keep in mind also, this is before I had YouTube, like I said, so like I wasn't as like comfortable talking to the camera and stuff. It's kind of funny, honestly, but like I was nervous as hell. I felt a little bit better once I got to the top of Springer because that was like the end of my hike for that day. But like climbing up there on the approach trail, that was tough. And then the Appalachian Trail. It's my first full day. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I should just let it go. Mile 0. Here we go. Yeah, I just wanted to say my mom, my dad, and my sister, Liza, picked me up from my college graduation in Potsdam, New York, like way the hell up, like close to Canada, and drove me all the way back down to Springer Mountain. So I really appreciate it and still do appreciate them doing that for me. So I had to thank them in the video here. We'll keep her going here. It's my first full day hiking today. Thanks to everybody who told me good luck yesterday. Really appreciated it. I think I'm probably going to post on my Instagram story a lot to entertain myself. So yeah, it's pretty fucking lit. Pretty fucking lit. Yeah, my first few days it wasn't like terrible weather, but it wasn't the best. Right now I'm on the summit of Blood Mountain. Be careful. Dude. It's pretty lit. Sunglasses are coming out even though the sun isn't out. Having a good time. Mile 31 today. So that was on top of, Blood Mountain, which was, I think, my third like full day. And I had those stupid sunglasses on. I carried those sunglasses almost the entire trail. I ended up losing them at some point, like probably in New England somewhere. But that was like one of the only times I ever even put them on, which is crazy. But The one time I put them on was a freaking joke when it wasn't even sunny, but Blood Mountain was cool. And on my very first night on top of Springer Mountain, I met Mullet Mike, who, if you've listened to some Trail Tales episodes, I don't think he's ever been on the channel before, but if you listen to Trail Tales episodes, old ones, you might be familiar with him. We met each other the very first night, and we hiked together for almost the rest of the trail. He ended up dropping out because he was sick in mid-Maine, so he was so close. It's super sad, honestly. He actually went back and finished it somewhat recently, but you're going to see him a lot in these videos, so I should probably introduce him. In fact, I think you might have just seen him in that last one there, but yeah, he's a reoccurring theme in this video. So we just got the picture here. Oh, the Budget Inn in Hiawassee, Georgia. Oh, here's the rattlesnake shit. Okay, I'll play this through and then I'll tell the story. Although I think I kind of do in the next video.
Well, about 45 minutes later, the snake finally moved, but he's still right in there. He just rattled at me again a minute ago. So I think I'm going to wait a few more minutes and then just hope he's not close to the trail anymore and go for it. Well, that entire time I was about 50 yards from the North Carolina-Georgia border. So snakes aside, it's pretty cool. First state done, and plenty to go.
Yeah, the old rattlesnake encounter. I've talked about this a little bit before, but that was the first rattlesnake I'd ever seen in my entire life. And like I said there, I think I said it, I was literally like 50 yards away from the Georgia-North Carolina border. And like I knew I was really close. And so I was kind of like, you know, I was listening to music. I was going along. I was really stoked. And then freaking, dude, rattlesnake right on the trail. And I almost stepped on it. To this day that was probably the sketchiest encounter I had on the entire Appalachian Trail, like right there, like right at the very beginning of the trail. That shit sucked. And what I should have done is I should have just like walked around it, like bushwhacked off the trail a little bit and walked around it. But I was so freaked out that I knew that Mullet Mike was going to be behind me, like coming up relatively soon. So I was like, all right, I'll just wait for him and then show him the rattlesnake and shit. Like, it's fucking crazy. And it took him a little bit longer than I thought to get there. Like I said, I probably waited for about 30 minutes, and that rattlesnake sat on the side of the trail and rattled at me, coiled up the entire time. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was aware of rattlesnakes before this, and I saw a few like other snakes along the trail in my first couple days, but that was the first rattlesnake. It scared the shit out of me. Still to this day, you guys know I hate rattlesnakes. Probably going to see a lot of them this year, unfortunately. All right, anyways, back to Albert Mountain, mile 100. Good times.
Just an absolutely beautiful day up here on the ridge in North Carolina. Going into Franklin today.
Franklin, North Carolina. That was a cool little trail town. Also, I just saw that Michael said in the chat, he said, you had no snake scares in Pennsylvania. I didn't have any snake scares in Pennsylvania, but I did see one rattlesnake in Pennsylvania. I think it was the last one I saw on the whole trail, actually. But anyways, yeah, Franklin, North Carolina, good time.
Right now I'm on top of Waya Bald in North Carolina. Pretty sweet up here. Got this cool stone tower. And I'm going to get the hell out now because those clouds do not look good, and a thunderstorm is coming.
That thunderstorm did not end up coming. And I felt like an idiot after I said that. But it looked like it was.
Check this out. Pretty damn awesome.
Oh, stay positive. This was a tough day for me. Yeah, look at those clouds. Oh, I should just.
Now I'm on the top of the Wesser Bald Tower here in North Carolina. Got about 7 more miles of downhill, and then I'm going to the Natahala Outdoor Center, where they have a hostel, food, and beer. Life is good.
I remember during those clips there, I was having a rough day. I don't even remember why. I think I was still just like so early on in the trail. I was just a little bit overwhelmed still. Like I said, my first day, I was like so nervous. I was super overwhelmed. And then I decided then that I was going to do my best to not focus on how far I had to go and only focus on like what I had hiked so far. And I did a pretty good job of that, but I did have moments in the first like couple weeks maybe where I would still get a little bit intimidated. And I remember specifically that was one of those moments because let me see if I can scroll back without screwing this up too much. Where was that clip of the stay positive thing? Oh, see, yeah, I knew I was going to screw that up.
Is coming.
Nope,
Check this
too
out.
far. Sorry, guys. All right, maybe
Miles down.
there it is. Yeah, that right there. I remember I saw that on the somebody wrote that on the thing, and normally I don't like it when people do graffiti and stuff, but it just kind of stuck with me a little bit, and so I was like, all right, you know, maybe this is excuse me, this is a sign. Like I need to stay positive, and so I put it in the Instagram story on purpose there because that's how I was feeling. Anyways, continue.
Where they have a hostel, food, and beer.
On to the NOC.
There was a big forest fire that came through here 2 years ago. Pretty much destroyed all the trees through here. They're all still dead. I really hope that doesn't happen when I'm hiking, because that would really suck.
This is at the NOC here. You know, a common problem that hikers have, through hikers, is when you're in town and you want to do your laundry, it's like you have to still wear something, but like you want to wash all your clothes. So in this circumstance, we were just sitting outside the NOC, which is like a resort kind of in the mountains there, if you're not familiar. And there's a lot of hikers there, a lot of like outdoorsy people, but it's also like pretty nice too. So there's a lot of like, you know, people on vacation basically, like non-hikers. And so I just thought it was funny that we were sitting there. This is a very common through hiker experience. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat honestly have experienced this. And just about everyone will experience this at some point if they do a through hike, but we were just sitting there in our underwear waiting for our clothes to dry and, you know, stuff like that. Also, Sam just pointed out the key shortcuts for skipping the video and stuff. Maybe I should do that. Let's test it out. Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll do that next time. But anyways, the NOC was a good time. I don't know if I took any other videos from it. No. Oh, it was a deer.
What's up, deer?
There's a lot of deer in the southern part of the trail. There are deer here in Vermont, but I was not used to seeing as many deer as I was seeing here. Also, another thing I want to throw out there about these videos is, again, like I've said this before, but this is before my channel. And so when I was filming this stuff and like taking pictures and stuff, I was kind of keeping in mind that like it was just going to be like my close friends and stuff that were going to see it. And a lot of them didn't know anything about through hiking. So that's kind of like the audience, if you could say that, I kind of made this for. So I saw some people say like my voice sounds different and everything. So it was definitely a different vibe back then. I'd like to think I'm a little bit better at talking to the camera now, but my voice does sound deeper in this. I don't really know what that was about.
I just entered into Great Smoky Mountain National Park. About 70 miles of trail. Has the highest density of bears along the whole way. And it's supposed to rain for like the next 5 days, so should be fun. Yeah, it's been raining for like 24 hours. It kind of sucks. But the Smokies are cool, I guess. Right now I'm on Clingman's Dome, which is the highest point in Tennessee and the highest point on the AT. And you can't see absolutely anything. Mile 200 today though, so that's cool.
All right, I'm going to pause right before this because this is a funny clip. But yeah, the Smokies sucked. I'm not done with it in the video yet. I think I have like a couple more clips of it. But Mullet Mike and I got absolutely just hammered with rain in the Smokies. It was, what is it, like late May at that point? So like it wasn't freezing cold, but it definitely wasn't warm. And it sucked. Never thought about quitting. But yeah, it sucked. This clip you're about to watch, though, is probably one of my favorites from this entire video, though, so I'll just let it speak for itself.
Absolutely anything.
Not this
Mile
one.
200
This
today
next
though,
one.
so that's cool.
Never hitchhike, kids, because you might end up in the back of a pickup truck with a bunch of trash drinking beer.
So that needs some explaining. So that was from, I think it's called Newfound Gap. It's right in the middle of the Smokies, and it's actually one of the longest hitchhikes that I did on the entire Appalachian Trail. I really need to speed up my monologues here because this is going to take forever. I'm only 4 minutes in. But anyways, that clip was one of my favorites, like I said. So when we got to the road crossing there, they were doing construction, and only like one lane was open. They had like guys with the flags and shit. So I was like, fuck, like it's going to be hard to get. There's a lot of people there. So in hindsight, it wasn't that bad, but I was like, fuck, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get a hitch here. And so we actually waited for a little while, probably like half an hour, one of the longer waits I had to do. And then eventually this guy pulled over and he asked, it was me, Mullet Mike, and this guy right here. His name is Breezy. And it was the three of us. We all hopped in the back of this guy's pickup truck, and he had like just finished like a camping trip. And so he had like his entire like back of his truck was just full of bags of trash. And so we're just sitting on these trash bags. And he also had a cooler there. And about halfway down the ride, shortly before I took that video there, he opened like, you know, like on a pickup truck, like the glass on the back there is just like a little window. He like opened that thing and he was just like, hey, there's some beer in the cooler there if you guys want some. So we were like, all right. So we just sat on his trash in the back of his truck and drank his beer, and it was a good time. That was actually a really good time. The days before that were not good though. The Smokies were tough, but then we got to Gatlinburg, and I also remember that in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Breezy again right here. I think he was from Washington D.C. and this was in 2018, and the Washington Capitals were in the Stanley Cup final, and it might have even been this night that they won the cup. So he was pretty pumped about that. But anyways. Right now I'm at Charlie's Bunyan, I think it's called. Mile 211 or something like that. Got a little bit more of a hike today, doing 18 tomorrow, and then I'll be at a hostel. So the rain stopped. It's all good. It's all good. June 1st. Still in the Smokies.
It is day 23, I believe, on the Appalachian.
I just skipped a bunch of days there. I just skipped like 5 days.
Trail. I'm crossing the 300-mile mark today, and check out this view. Finally had some good weather. It's pretty lit.
Look at those fields. In a few minutes, there's another picture of like some fields like this. There's not many fields up here in Vermont, like on the trails and stuff, so burp. Not that there's like a ton of them down south, but there's a lot more, and so I always thought the fields like this were pretty cool. It's something a little bit different than what I was used to. Oh, there it is right there. Fields on fields on fields. Where was that?
Today is day 27, I think, or something like that. And it's a good day because we're going into Rowan Mountain, Tennessee, and I'm going to eat a pizza, which is sick. And then I'm going to hit 400 miles later today. So, yeah.
I got cut off there. I did not end up getting a pizza in Rowan Mountain, Tennessee. I ended up getting a cheeseburger and french fries. But it was not for lack of trying. There was no pizza place close to the grocery store. That's why. Also, Eric Pelkey just pointed out that 144 people are watching and there's only 70 likes. Guys, you got to smash the like button, please. That would be sick. Going back to this year, I remember when I crossed 400 miles, like, I'm not going to say it was like a pivotal moment, but it was a really good feeling. I feel like at that point, I still knew that I had a long ways to go. Like, I still knew that, like I was not, like, confident that I was going to make it yet, but I did feel like, okay, like, I made it this far, like, I'm feeling good. I think I got this. I realized I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Like, I went into Hot Springs, North Carolina, like, a few days before this, and or actually a while before 400 miles, and I didn't film anything there, I guess, but I don't know. The hardcore Cascades, let's go. Hampton, Tennessee. I don't remember that. Oh, I'm sure some of you guys recognize this picture because this barn here in Tennessee is like a pretty famous like spot. Like, a lot of people take pictures of it on their through hike, and I did the same. Right after this, I walked through a farm field, and there was a bunch of cow shit and cows. Like, I walked right by the cows. Like, I literally like was inside their fence. And it was a little bit sketchy. I remember that pretty well. Oh, when I crossed into Virginia. Let's go. This was a big day. This is a good fucking feeling right here. Those rocks there were the border. Boom. That felt good. I was pumped. to get to Damascus here. And then I took a 0 here too. That's Breezy again. And that is a cat, unknown. I stayed at the Woodchuck Hostel, which I do not know if it's still open. I heard they got new owners and it like closed down for a while. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but this is at the Woodchuck Hostel. It was fucking awesome when I stayed there in Damascus. Today I am going through Grayson Highlands State Park, but apparently the trail is closed because of a bear attack that happened a couple days ago. I don't really have much information yet. It's about 10 miles ahead of me, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do when I get there. I really don't want to have to skip any sections of the trail, but if it's closed, there's nothing you can do. It's illegal to hike through it, and there should be an official detour that'll still count towards my through hike, so we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I remember this. This is a good example of how rumors can spread on the trail amongst through hikers, and they're not always 100% accurate. So I said there that I think the trail was closed because of a bear attack. I honestly don't remember the details, but we had been hearing this from some other through hikers for like a day before we got to this spot. And I do think there was some sort of bear-related incident, and I do think they might have closed the trail for like a very short period of time. I don't know how long. I'm guessing maybe just like half a day or something like that. But we didn't know the full story. All we knew is that like there was some possible trail closure. And like I said there, I didn't want to have to skip any sections of this trail, and I ended up not skipping anything. So I ended up getting through it just fine. When we got there, it was open again, and there wasn't even any information about what happened. But just an example of how like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for certain, but I'm fairly confident that, oh jeez, we're only 6 minutes in. All right, I'm fairly confident that some of the details might have gotten lost in translation, and not all the information that we had been given by other hikers was accurate, just because of the way that rumors spread, not because anyone was making shit up or anything like that, but yeah. Anyways, here's some ponies in the Grayson Highlands. This is fun. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm feeling very nostalgic. Look at those things.
What up?
What up? Oh, here we go. That's Mullet Mike right there. And you might be thinking, Kyle, he doesn't have a mullet. Why is his name Mullet Mike? Well, his actual name is Mikey. And since like the day I met him, he was talking about getting a mullet. And so I gave him the trail name Mullet Mike before he actually got a mullet. Spoiler alert, he does get a mullet at some point. But this was one of our biggest days. I remember this day. This is one of our biggest days up to this point. And we were exhausted. I can't remember what town this was, though. Somewhere in Virginia, obviously. Southern Virginia. I can't remember what town it was. I remember the hotel we went to. I just don't remember the town. One of the only towns I don't remember.
Most of the time, the Appalachian Trail is going through the mountains, up on ridges, through the woods. But occasionally, like right now, it'll come out and you'll literally just follow a road right by a gas station that's right on the trail, which is pretty cool.
I remember one of my friends made fun of me on Instagram after, like just in a private message after I posted that. That was in Atkins, Virginia, and I was being 100% genuine there. I was glad there was a gas station there. I just thought it was cool. I just was like, all right, I'm in the mountains most of the time, and here I am walking by a gas station and a restaurant. So I was excited about that. And then this clip right here was in Bland, Virginia, also at a gas station, but this is a little bit off the trail. And there's Mullet Mike. This is a very quick resupply we did. Basically just went to the store and went to the restaurant and pieced. Got some Hot Mulligan playing in the background there.
Haven't gotten many views in the past 100 or so miles, but this is pretty sick. I'm very lucky to be up here right now.
It's a good attitude, right? I just want to pause for a second to say thank you to Freeheel for the $5 super chat. And they said it was for camera batteries. My camera hasn't died yet. Usually when it starts blinking like this, it's died by now. So I'm hoping it's just like an error, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. But Freeheel, thank you very much. You're very generous. I know you've given other super chats on other live streams as well. So thank you for tuning in. And thank you for the $5. And we also got another super chat from Preston who said, did you hear that Jupiter? Did you hear that Jupiter is hiking the PCT also? Well, Preston, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. I appreciate it very much. And I never said that I was hiking the PCT. Where are you getting that from? I haven't made any official announcements about that. I did hear that Jupiter was hiking the PCT, though. Maybe I'll run into him, and then I will promptly lose him because he's probably going to hike it like fucking way faster than I hypothetically would. But anyways, Preston and Freehill, thank you guys very, very much for the super chats. And also, I'm going to answer this question real quick before I go back to the video here. We're going to be here all night, folks. AW said, "Where's Flossie? Did he not hike the AT with you, or am I mistaken?" Flossie is coming up. I don't think he's in too many of these videos. I know for a fact he's in one in New Hampshire and a couple in Maine, maybe. But Flossie and I didn't meet each other until probably I don't remember exactly how much further, but it was in central to northern Virginia, so we're not quite at the point in my thru hike where I met Flossie yet. He will be in a few of these videos, though. Anyways, back to this. Back to the program.
How many miles I've hiked so far? I'll give you a hint. It's on the ground in rocks there. You see that?
700 miles.
700 miles.
Let's go.
Can't believe it. Still doesn't feel real. Pretty lit. So, Mike, how do you feel about doing 7 more miles today?
I'm not doing that shit.
You're not doing 7 more miles? You refuse?
So that was actually on McAfee Knob, that video there, which is kind of funny because I guess I didn't post. I posted like a actual photo on my Instagram of McAfee Knob, but I didn't put it on my story, I guess, so we missed it in the video here. But it was really hot that day, and without going into too many details, I'll just tell you that that particular day I remember very, very well because not only was it McAfee Knob, one of the most famous spots on the whole trail, but I was dealing with some digestive issues that day that were not good at all. And we ended up not hiking 7 more miles, as you could probably tell from that video. But anyways, let's go. I remember this video in particular, not because of what it actually is, but I remember this video because a kid that I went to college with that I wasn't like super good friends with. I saw him around every now and then, but like we weren't really good friends, but we just followed each other on Instagram. I remember when after this video he replied and just told me like, "Hey, like I've really been enjoying following your hike. Like good luck out there. Keep it up." And I just remember in my head I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like someone I don't really know that well that like doesn't really have any reason to follow this hike is like interested in being like super chill and encouraging about it." So Ben, you're not going to watch this because I literally probably haven't talked to you since that message, but thank you very much for that. I still remember that message. That was really nice of him.
Walking through a grocery store with a backpack on after not showering and hiking and being around all these like normal people is pretty weird. You get some weird stares and I think they think I'm homeless. I really want to complain about how hot it is today and how much it sucks to hike in, but I'm pretty sure it's actually hotter back home in Vermont than it is down here in Virginia today, which is really, really weird. Anyways, I got up early this morning and hiked most of my miles before it got hot so that I wouldn't freaking die out here. So I only have 2.5 left now. I'm pretty bored and I'm just sitting here watching tourists on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Pretty fun.
Yeah, I was going through, or not me, Virginia and the whole country, I guess, because I made that comment about Vermont, was going through a huge freaking heat wave at this time. It was so hot, like the days before and the days after this. So that particular day, that was the day I left Daleville, Virginia. I got up really early, and I'm not a morning person. I generally like to sleep in, even when I was through hiking. Like I like to sleep in. But that day, I was like, I cannot hike when it's this hot. So this is probably a technique I'm going to be employing on this hypothetical PCT hike that may or may not be happening, that I may or may not have a permit for, that I may or may not be announcing like next week. But this technique was I got up really early that day, and I hiked pretty hard in the morning, put in a lot of miles, and then once it started to get hot, I took like a pretty long break, and then I did keep hiking. Like I didn't stop for like the entire like hot middle part of the day, but after that, I just hiked really slow. Like I made it a point to hike as slow as I possibly could, and just kind of like not overexert myself. And it actually worked pretty well. I think I put in like 18 miles this day. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was like a full day for me, and I didn't die from the heat. So yeah.
That is a big ass rattlesnake right there.
Yeah.
I saw it well before I got up to it, so I didn't almost step on it, thankfully. But look at that freaking thing. Thing could kill you with a bite.
Yeah, that was the second rattlesnake I saw. Second of 5. I don't know if I got any of the rest of them on camera. I can't remember, but yeah.
Today's a good day. I got a friend, my friend Dan Pierce, picking me up at the end of the day, so I can take the 4th. You guys probably don't give a shit, but check out this view. Pretty sick.
That was cringy as hell. That video makes me cringe. I was clearly in a very bad mood that day. It was still really, really hot. I was just like in zero mode because, like I said, the next day, or maybe it was that day, I can't remember what I just said there, but my friend Dan came and picked me up, a friend I grew up with that lives in Harrisonburg, Virginia, as you can see on the screen right here. And I was just in like, I was not about being on the trail that day. That was a fucking tough day. I think that might have been the day that I took the thumbnail photo for this live stream too. I actually didn't take that photo. A random guy took that photo. It's kind of a funny story in itself, but we got enough to talk about here. But anyways, yeah, so this right here, the next day, my friend Dan picked me up at the James River in Glasgow, Virginia. Drove like an hour back to Harrisonburg, and I took a 0 the next day. And so he lived like right downtown Harrisonburg at the time. And so this is a picture of James Madison University. We walked right past this on our way to a bar that night. So it was a great 0. Dan, thank you very much for picking me up. I needed that fucking 0, let me tell you. No, it's not Dan Becker. It's a friend I grew up with. This is in Glasgow, Virginia. This next clip is kind of funny. I'll talk about it.
The town of Glasgow, Virginia has this free hiker shelter right in the middle of town. It's pretty sweet. I've got my hammock set up over here. And this place has showers, running water, and just beyond those trees there's a pizza place.
So that clip there, like I said in the video, Glasgow, Virginia, the town there, I don't know if they still have it, but at the time they had this free hiker shelter that was right in town. Like it's a small town. Like there's not like a lot of people walking around. It's a very small town. It's like a grocery store, a post office, a restaurant, and a gas station. That's about it. But there's this thing right in town, this shelter, and there's like a bunch of camping spots, and it's right behind a pizza place, like I said there. So it was perfect for through hiking. Like I could take a town stop there, but I didn't have to, worry about paying for a hotel or a hostel or something like that. But when I got dropped off here, this is when Dan brought me back to the trail. So Dan dropped me off right at the shelter, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is sick! Like this is perfect." But talking to Dan after my hike, he was like, "That was the weird dude. I just dropped you off at this fucking like janky shelter in the middle of town. There's a bunch of people there." Like he thought it was really weird, and I thought it was sick at the time, but now looking back on it, I can see why it was so weird for him, which I think is hilarious because it didn't even occur to me that it was weird at the time. Yeah, good times in Glasgow here.
And this place has showers, running water, and just beyond those trees there's a pizza place. I took yesterday off hiking. It was my 3rd day off this whole trail so far, so that was pretty cool. And this morning I picked up some new shoes and a new filter from the post office, so thank you, Dad, for sending me those. It's hot.
And this is actually my friend Dan right here. Hopefully he doesn't mind me he's not really a social media person, he doesn't really care about this stuff, but so a couple days after he picked me up and I took that 0 with him, he ended up coming out with me and hiking on the weekend. He was working full time when it happened, so he had to wait a few days after he dropped me off to come join me. And there he is. I think this was like the end of our 3-day hike together, and this was actually the day after I met Flossie, or 2 days after I met Flossie. So at this point, we weren't quite hiking together yet. It took Flossie another week to catch up to us, maybe after I met him. But yeah, there's Dan. And I went into Waynesboro this day.
Shenandoah National Park, here we come!
And now I'm in Shenandoah.
Rattlesnake.
Oh.
Can't get away from him.
So I guess I did get that rattlesnake on camera. That was the 3rd one I saw so far. And there's Mullet Mike. I think he had the mullet at that point, did he? Yeah, he did. Shitty quality on the video, but Mullet Mike had the mullet at this point. I forget where he got it, to be honest with you. But I need another beer. Oh, this was a sick spot. This is in Shenandoah National Park. This is one of my favorite campsites of the whole trail. Also, we just got a $5 Canadian super chat from Paul. Paul, thank you very, very much for your super chat. I appreciate it. No questions. So, Paul, if you have a question, put it in the chat, and I'll try to get to it. You don't have to do another super chat, just a regular one. I appreciate the super chat. I'll keep this going. Great campsite there. Same spot right here. Yeah, camping with a view. Gotta love that. So, Mike, what do you think of all this nature?
It's very sexy.
Mullet Mike. I miss this guy. I haven't seen him since the trail. It's too bad. There's a bear right there.
Get out of the way.
It's the first bear I saw. No, that's not true. The day before, actually, this video. The day before this video, I saw a bear. But Shenandoah was basically the only part of the entire Appalachian Trail I saw any bears in. And it was just about every day I was there, probably 5 days.
This is
He's a big boy.
fifth bear I've seen.
Oh, I completely lied, I guess. I guess I saw fucking 4 bears before that. I just called myself out on my own bullshit there. That's funny. You guys just get to watch that live. Yeah, a lot of bears in Shenandoah. I think we were probably like 3/4 of the way through Shenandoah by the time this video was taken.
Seen a bear every single day in Shenandoah. Pretty gnarly. Little bear cub climbing a tree.
Yeah, Mom's eating. But she won't, I mean, we can't pass. The trail goes like right by him.
Well, you probably want to backtrack a mile.
We did not backtrack. All right, this next clip is just past Front Royal, Virginia. And also, actually, before I get to that, I just want to say, Paul, who just gave me that super chat a minute ago, Paul said, "When are you coming to BC? Lots of good trails, her." Paul, I would love to go to BC. I've seen pictures and videos, and it looks amazing, but no plans at the moment. I got bigger things on the horizon. Anyways, back to this. Paul, thank you for your super chat, by the way. I don't know where to look. I got 2 screens. I got a camera. I got a beer. All over the place here. But so this clip right here, you're going to see me setting up my hammock in. This wasn't the shelter, but this was like an overhang by a picnic area next to the shelter. I'm just going to call myself out right now and say, do not do what I did here. This was probably not the best etiquette. Not something I would do anymore, but it happened. So don't do this.
I will be camping in luxury tonight. Got my hammock hung under this little awning here. Beautiful shelter. Almost got struck by lightning earlier. Life is cool.
That lightning strike I just referred to there it probably happened literally right before I got to the shelter. And looking back on it, that was the the closest I came to a lightning strike the entire thru hike. That was sketchy.
Today is my last full day in Virginia. Virginia is the longest state on the Appalachian Trail. It's about 500 miles. And I'm almost out of it. I'll be in West Virginia tomorrow and Maryland the next day.
I love how you can see my beard like really coming in now compared to the start. I'm not going to go back and compare it, but yeah. I'll just keep playing it. I got some stuff to say about this part of the trail, though, in a minute.
And
got a lot of
I'm
stuff
almost
to say.
out of it. I'll be in West Virginia tomorrow and Maryland the next day. 1,000 miles right here.
That was a good feeling.
I cannot even fathom the fact that I've walked this far. And the fact that I'm not even halfway. About an hour ago, I crossed into West Virginia. I was in the state of Virginia for about a month. It's the longest state on the whole trail, so it feels really, really good to be done with it. And the trail from here all the way up to Massachusetts is pretty damn flat, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, shit. Ah! I remember this. This was sketchy as hell. Listen to that thunder. Alright, so I got some stuff to say here. First of all, getting out of Virginia felt amazing. I'll talk a little bit more about that once we watch the Harper's Ferry's videos here. But I just want to talk about this storm right here for a second. So fuck, where was this? I can't remember where this was. It was just before Harper's Ferry, like maybe a couple miles before Harper's Ferry. I got in kind of late. There was actually a hostel very close to a road crossing. I was only like not even a mile into the woods here. I was very close to the road at this campsite, and there was a hostel that was at this road crossing, and I was calling them and I was trying to find them, and they like weren't picking up and shit. And so eventually I was just like, screw it, fuck them. Like they're not picking up. So I just went back to the trail. I was actually by myself for a little bit here too. I have a lot of, this is a very pivotal moment of my thru hike, these couple days here that we're watching right now. And so oh God, there's so much stuff I'm trying to say here. Back to the hostel. So the hostel wasn't picking up. I was kind of pissed off. So I was like, all right, they're not going to get my business then if they're not going to, because I called them like a number of times. It wasn't just like once and they didn't pick up. So I was like, screw them. Like, no, like I called them a lot. I waited a long time. They weren't picking up. So I was like, all right, fuck them. And so I just went back to the trail, and I knew the next morning I would be getting to Harper's Ferry. And I was actually by myself for a few days here. A day or two before this, when I was leaving Shenandoah, Mullet Mike, who had basically been hiking with the entire trail up until this point, he had stayed behind and took a 0 to be with his girlfriend. And so I kept going. I knew that I was probably going to take a 0 like pretty soon. And so I knew that we were going to meet back up in like a day or a couple days or like a week or something, which did end up happening. You're going to see him again shortly here. But so I was by myself actually, and most of the trail, like I said, we had hiked together. There'd been a few other people, that breezy guy you saw earlier, and so I did this stretch here by myself, and I wouldn't have wanted to done the whole trail by myself at all, but it was actually kind of nice looking back on it. I feel like this was such a pivotal I can't say that word tonight. Pivotal moment in my thru hike, and just the fact that I got to experience that by myself was a little bit special. I don't know. But anyway, so this campsite right here, let me just play this clip again, this storm here.
And the trail from here all the way up to Massachusetts is pretty damn flat, so I'm looking forward to it.
The storm right here was crazy. So I was camped at the side of the road, basically, like a little bit in from the road. And I remember I set up my hammock, but I didn't set up my tarp yet. And I ended up calling my mom. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and we were chatting. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I just remember I told her, she was like, oh, like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm at camp. And I remember telling her that, like, oh, I set up my hammock, but I haven't set up my tarp yet. And she was like, oh, like, shouldn't you set up your tarp in case it rains? And I was like, it's not going to rain. Like, I checked the forecast. It's not going to rain. And then I kid you not, without fail, I hung up the phone. The first thing I did was set up my tarp after that. And then as soon as, like, as I was nailing in the final stake for my tarp, the sky absolutely opened up on me. And so I was there. This wasn't even a campsite either. I literally just walked off the trail into the middle of the woods. It was one of those circumstances. Like, it was very open forest there, so I could do that. So I was by myself, like, no campsite around me at all, no people around me. Although I guess the road was close, but, I was by myself. And then one of the craziest storms of the entire trail. It was quick. It probably lasted 5 minutes, and then it was over. But it was pretty gnarly. And I just remember thinking in my head, I was like, thank God that I got my tarp set up right before the storm came. I got kind of lucky. So I should have I should have set up my tarp earlier. But Harper's Ferry. On to Harper's Ferry here. The psychological halfway point. I ate a lot of food.
I just left Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, crossed over the river. I'm now in Maryland. So West Virginia is a short state, but it's done. And my favorite band, The Story So Far, released a new song today, so life is good.
All right, so like I said a few minutes ago, this was a super pivotal. Oh my God, I drink every time I fuck this word up tonight, guys. Pivotal moment in my through hike. So Harper's Ferry isn't the literal halfway point of the trail, but it is the psychological halfway point, they call it. It's kind of like what separates the north and the south part of the trail. And so when I made it to Harper's Ferry, I felt amazing. I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back on it, this was probably one of the best moments of my entire through hike. And the second half was different than the first half. At this point, like once walking out of Harper's Ferry, I felt like I had a entirely like different sense of confidence than I did walking into it. I felt like that was like really the moment where like literally right when I'm like talking right here, I had just crossed over into Maryland like right after or right before I took this video. And that was that was an incredible moment. I don't even know what to say. This is so fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's a lot of like personal stuff, but I'm doing this one for me, okay? So anyways, yeah, that was a turning point on the hike for sure. I felt like a completely different person walking out of Harper's Ferry than I did going into it. And from this point on, I think that I was 100% confident that sparing like any sort of extraordinary circumstance, like an injury or like an emergency or something like that, like as long as something like that didn't happen, like at this point, like I knew like I'm gonna hike this trail. Like I knew I was gonna like get it. I knew I had a long way to go still for sure, but like it was just like a mindset twist. I also stopped worrying as much about time after this because I started really late. If you guys recall, I started May 14th, which is very late for a northbound through hike. And so for the first half of the trail, basically until Harper's Ferry, every single day I would calculate my pace and like calculate if I had enough time to make it there by like mid-October. And after Harper's Ferry, I kind of stopped doing that. I knew I still had to keep up a pace, but I felt a little bit more confident, a lot more confident actually, that I was going to be able to make it in time at this point. And I was right in hindsight. So yeah.
And my favorite band in the story so far released a new song today, so life is good.
Welcome to Maryland. R.I.P. Lil Peep. I don't know why I did that. That's fucking
Right
stupid.
now I'm in Maryland.
Oh.
And now I'm in Pennsylvania.
That's funny. I barely took any videos in Maryland, but I look back on Maryland very fondly. Anyways. Oh, shit. Oh, I got a funny story about this. So you see there, I ate all this food here. So after I finished this meal, excuse me, after I finished this meal, the waiter came over to our table and he did like the usual, like, oh, like, do you guys want your check kind of thing? And I remember I told him, I was like, actually, I don't know. Like, I think I might keep the menu for a second and maybe I'll order a little bit more. I wasn't really sure. Oh no, the fucking camera died. Oh no. Oh no, did the camera die? I knew that was going to happen. Somebody tell me if you guys can still hear me. Ah, fuck. Stupid. Oh wait, is it back? I'm so confused. Why is the camera back now? Oh no, the camera. Fuck. Alright, I think the camera actually died for real this time. Okay. Hey guys, hang tight for a second. I'm going to see if I can swap a battery and make the camera work. I'm assuming you can still hear me, yeah. I'm going to see if I can swap the battery. I have no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. We're going to try it. So give me like 2 seconds here. Come on, Canon. I think the batteries might be broken, honestly. I've had these batteries for a while. Sorry, everybody. Alright, that battery's like 33%, so let's see if this other one is. %. Well, alright. I'm not very confident that this is going to work just magically if I plug it back in, but we're going to try. I also really have to pee. Let's see what happens. Is it working? Testing. It came back on my software. Oh my god, it's working. Is it working? Am I back? I just swapped a camera battery live. Oh, that's awesome. Oh shit. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, everybody. I feel like this battery might die eventually too, but where's this battery? I gotta check these batteries. Anyways, okay, this is a little intermission then, because I really have to pee. So I'm going to go pee as quick as I can. My bathroom's right outside the door. Hopefully you guys don't hear it, but I will be right back. I'm going to put it in the chat too. So if people just tune in. I'm peeing BRB. I'm back. I just peed. I didn't even wash my hands because I was trying to go quick for you guys. Okay. Anyways, I was in the middle of my story about this food. So let's get back on track here. Oh! Dude, oh my god, what a shit show. You guys are... The camera just fell. Oh my god. Now my mouse is lost. Where's my mouse? It's over there. We're getting it together here, folks. This is probably more entertaining than me rambling about my fucking hike anyway, isn't it? I literally am propping up the camera on a 12-pack of beer that's not even mine. And so I knew that was bound to happen at some point here. Okay. All right, we're back. I think. Let's talk about some breakfast food. Okay. Dude, I can't wait to watch this bag. This is going to be so fucking dumb. All right. I also am learning that people could hear me peeing. That's great. I tried to pee on the side of the toilet bowl, you know? So, like, not right into the water, but I guess I didn't do a good job. I'm going to have to skip that part when I watch it back. That's going to be too cringe for me. Oh, man. All right, let's take a deep breath here. Let's take a deep drink of PBR. Okay, let's talk about breakfast food. Back to the AT. So now I can hear Flossie getting home, too, outside. I'm so distracted. Let's see. Preston, I did close the door. I closed 2 doors. Anyways, breakfast food. So I ate this entire, like, huge mashup of breakfast food right here. I ate that toast there. And then the waiter came over and he was like, "Do you guys want your checks?" And I told him, I was like, "Actually, I'm not sure. Like, I might, like, I'm afraid this camera's going to fall." I was like, I might just, like, look at the menu again because I might order some more food. I wasn't, like, hungry still, but, like, I wasn't satisfied, clearly. And when I told him that, like, normally if you tell a waiter that, they're like, "Oh, okay, that's a good thing. Like, I want them to order more food so that they'll spend more money and give me a bigger tip, like, make more money for the restaurant. It looks good for me." So, like, you know, it's a good thing usually when a customer does that, when a customer asks to see the menu again and order more food. However, this waiter, he was like, no. He was like, he was like, "Dude, I've seen thru hikers come in here and eat so much food that they fucking puke." And they just, he was like, "Trust me, you don't want to order more food." Like, he wouldn't give me the menu. Like, he forced me to fucking get my check and leave, which I thought was hilarious. That's the only time that's ever happened to me in my life where a waiter didn't want me to continue to spend money, which is pretty funny. But anyways, this is just after I crossed into Pennsylvania. Yeah. Am I going to get in trouble for...
So today
I thought it was hilarious. That's the only... Whoops. For peeing on a live stream.
So today I hit the halfway point on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a challenge here in Pine Grove Furnace State Park where thru hikers will try to eat a half gallon of ice cream in one sitting. Wish me luck. So the first tub is gone, but unfortunately these tubs aren't an actual half gallon of ice cream, so now I have to go get a pint too and do that. So
Goddamn. The challenge has been completed. I ate an entire tub of ice cream, an entire pint. My tongue is numb right now. Look, I have a lisp. I'm gonna go lay down. Yeah. It's been.
I don't really have much else to say about that, to be honest. That was pretty much just summed it up there. Look how gnarly my beard and my hair looks in this. I think I say something about my hair in this video. I can't remember. It's been raining for the past like 3-4 days, pretty much nonstop. But fortunately, through central Pennsylvania here, there's a lot of towns, so I've been able to stay inside and get out of the rain for a bit, pretty much every night for the past couple days. Unfortunately, the rain's not going to stop for the next couple days. A lot of the trails getting pretty flooded, but it sucks, but that's just the way it goes. I really need a haircut. Oh yeah, back to the food here. So this plate of pancakes, this plate of random breakfast food, and this plate of random breakfast food was all mine, and I ate it. I felt like shit, but I did it. The rain has continued all day today, and we're hearing word that the trail north of where we're staying tonight is impassable because of flooding, so there's a good chance we might be hunkered down in Duncannon, Pennsylvania for a few days. Yeah, we for that part there, yeah, we got rained on really hard through like central Pennsylvania. There was a stretch of trail that was closed, but it opened back up right before we were able to go through it. We did have to take a 0 in Duncannon, which I guess I didn't film at all. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do there. But it ended up working out. This is actually another example, going back to the rumor thing I was talking about earlier. Like, there was a bunch of rumors from other thru hikers about how like the trail's closed and like we're all gonna have to like flip-flop or like skip ahead of this section and all this stuff. And a bunch of people that were hiking, we weren't like hiking with them, but they were just like around us like for a long time. Like we were kind of hiking at a similar pace. A bunch of them decided to go and flip up to Katahdin and hike south from there because they were worried about this trail closure. And we were kind of like, I don't know. We didn't really believe it 100%. And we didn't want to flip, so we just waited. We were like, all right, we're just going to stay here for a while and just like figure it out. Like we'll just scope it out. And we'll make our decision. Like we didn't want to make like a rash decision, and we ended up being fine. The trail opened up in time. Everything was good. I passed a number of those people I don't know how long, like a month later, month and a half later, as they were coming southbound. We didn't talk about it at all, but I just remember thinking like, damn, I'm glad I did not listen to them. So it worked out. We're down in Duncannon, Pennsylvania for a few days. Chris Martin said, I hear Duncannon is kind of sketchy. Is that true? Yes, it is true. It is. I don't know if I'd say it's sketchy, but it's kind of run down. That entire part of Pennsylvania is going through some hard times for sure.
Copperhead snakes just chilling down there.
Ooh, copperheads.
I was having my lunch, and this other guy that was here pointed them out to me. There's 2 of them just kind of curled up in that rock down there. Pretty sketchy. The classic back of a pickup truck.
Oh, there's Flossie.
Hitchhike on the Appalachian Trail.
I think that was the first shot of Flossie this whole time, right?
2 of them just kind of curled up
Fucking
in that
copperheads.
rock down there. Pretty sketchy. The classic back
There
of
he
a pickup
is.
truck. Hitchhike on the Appalachian Trail.
Oh god, this buffet. Oh
How do
shit.
you feel after the buffet, Mikey?
Like trash.
You look like trash too.
So that buffet. Oh man. There was an all-you-can-eat buffet in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. We probably hiked a full day to get there. Like it was at the end of the day that we got there. So we probably hiked like 20, I don't remember exactly, around 20 miles that day. And out of all the walking we did that day, the hardest part of the day was not the 20 miles we did, but the hardest part was walking the 150 yards from the buffet after we ate to the Walmart to resupply. We were so full. It was pretty hot outside. We were walking through this parking lot. We felt like shit. And honestly, that was one of the few times where after eating like a lot of food, I actually like felt like I might throw up. Like usually I can hold it down pretty well. Even if I don't feel great, I usually don't feel nauseous, but I felt like shit after that. And Mullet did too, because he just said that he is trash. Let's watch that again. That was funny. How do you feel after the buffet, Mikey?
Like trash.
You look like trash too.
I am trash.
So the trail through Pennsylvania is mostly just rocks like this. It's a real pain to hike on, hurt your feet, and there's lots of snakes that live in the cracks of the rocks, so poor me. All the southbounders I've been passing are telling me that the worst rocky section has yet to come. I should hit it in a day or two. But once I get through it, I'll pretty much be in New Jersey, which is awesome, because Pennsylvania sucks, and that'll be another state down.
Yeah, people always talk about the rocks in Pennsylvania. I think, looking back on it, I don't think the rocks were nearly as bad as everybody makes them out to be. I think I was a little bit worried about it there because I had, again, heard some rumors about the rocks being really bad. But at this point, or at the point that I made this video here, I was almost done Pennsylvania. I only had a few days left, and the rocks were a little bit bad in that section, and they got maybe a little bit worse after this. But this idea that all of Pennsylvania is rocks is not true. I would say like half of it is fine. Half of it's pretty rocky, but it's not that bad. You just suck it up.
In New Jersey, which is awesome, because Pennsylvania sucks, and that'll be another state down.
Right now I'm in Slatington, Pennsylvania, and our new friend Joe over here was nice enough to let 4 smelly hikers stay in his house for free tonight, so very lucky. Yeah, so that was a really cool thing there. Let's see if I can... What did I just do? There's Joe. All right, so we got a couple people here. This right here, the guy in the foreground, that's Indy. I met him very early on the trail, like when I was in North Carolina, but we didn't start hiking together until, I don't even remember exactly. Probably around this area, probably around Pennsylvania or so. Anyways, as I said in one of my recent videos, whenever I go into town on a through hike, I like to have a plan. I like to know where I'm going to stay. I like to know where I'm going to resupply all this stuff. And that's usually the case. However, this particular incident was probably the only time on my, actually not the only time, I can think of another one, but one of the only times on my through hike where I went into a town, and all of us went into a town with no idea where we were going to stay. We knew that we wanted to stay in town. There wasn't any good lodging options. There wasn't any hostels. We basically went into town and we're like, fuck it, we're going to figure it out. I was so desperate that I was actually calling businesses in Slatington, Pennsylvania, and asking them, like, hey, do you guys have, like, a backyard we can pitch our tents on? Like, we were very desperate to find a place to stay. We all kind of hiked our own pace this day, and when we went into town, Indy, right here, he was a little bit behind us, and so we all hitchhiked separately together. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. We all hitchhiked separately, and Indy happened to get a ride from this gentleman right here. His name is Joe. And Joe is a very like white collar guy. He's a chiropractor, you know, not the normal kind of guy that would pick up like a hiker with dreadlocks like Indy here. And Indy just happened to talk with this guy, and Joe offered Indy to stay at his house. And so when Indy told us that, I was like, yo, like, this is like the one time where we don't have a place to stay. I was like, you need to call him back, and you need to you need to make this work. And so Indy asked if the rest of us, there's 3 more of us, there's me, Flossie, Mullet, and Indy. Indy asked if the rest of us could, you know, stay with him. And he was a little hesitant at first, but he let us do it. Thank God. And this gentleman right here, Joe, he wasn't like he knew about the Appalachian Trail because he lived so close to it, but he had never picked up a through hiker before. He didn't know much about through hiking. And in the middle of the week, in the middle of his work week, this guy working his ass off, let us stay at his house for free and cooked us dinner, cooked us breakfast the next day. His wife was there. His son was there, older son who's probably, I don't remember exactly. He's a little bit older than we were at the time. We were all around 22 years old in this. And, yeah, this is the only time this happened to me on the trail where a random person just let me stay at their house, and it was amazing. Very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. And our new friend Joe over here was nice enough to let 4 smelly hikers stay in his house for free tonight. So, very lucky. Yes, Michael, I know we're not even halfway through
What
the
up,
video.
Snake?
I need to hurry this up, I know.
I mean, it probably did rain like an inch.
See that? Look at that thing.
Oh yeah, another eating challenge here. 3 meals. Ate it all.
Mike, what do you think about my eating habits?
You're disgusting.
You're disgusting.
Human being.
Nice unibrow. See how many miles I've hiked? Look at that number. 4 digits. Well, I tried to say this earlier, but my headphones were plugged in,
Oh, here's Flossie.
so the audio didn't work. But why don't you tell everybody where we are, Flossie? We're in Jersey, baby. Jersey. Made it to New Jersey.
Oh, that was so cringy. I butchered the... What did Flossie say? Josie. That was so cringy. I can't believe I posted this.
So the audio didn't work. Jersey.
Ah!
Tell everybody where we are, Flossie. We're in Jersey, baby. Jersey.
Oh, that's
Made
so
it to
cringe.
New Jersey. Never thought I would say this, but New Jersey is pretty damn sweet. Right now, we are quite literally stumbling into the town of Unionville, New York. 26.7 miles today, second longest day on the whole trail. And there's a pizza place here and a place to camp out back. Pretty lit. Right now, I'm at this huge outlet complex in Harriman, New York. I mean, this thing is literally massive. Got like every brand. Not a place I thought I would find myself in the middle of a through hike of the Appalachian Trail.
So that was pretty funny because I feel like this might not be true. I feel like this isn't true, but I feel like I heard that that outlet mall that we were at there in Harriman, New York was one of the biggest in the whole country. And so we were like in the middle of a through hike, and yet we found ourselves at this huge outlet mall, like every brand you could think of. We're pretty close to New York City here. I don't know exactly how far, but relatively close, which makes sense. But it was just funny. I was like, that's such a funny contrast. And I bought some new shorts there. And I really needed them because my previous pair of shorts had a giant hole right in the crotch. And it was so bad that I had to buy a pair of underwear to wear with the shorts. Because if I didn't, my nuts were hanging out. And if you thought me pissing in the background was bad, you should have seen that shit. It's not good. So, anyways... Look at this pool here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Appalachian Trail. You might have seen the famous pool that the trail goes right by in the zoo. Yeah, I'll let this speak for itself.
Yes, I'm at a pool right now. And yes, it is actually on the Appalachian Trail. Fucking insane.
Yeah, they let hikers in for free at this pool. And it was really funny because it was a Saturday when we were there. And there's a huge line. Like all these people in line. And when we heard the hikers got in for free, we saw a couple other hikers just skip the line. Like they had a special line. Like they didn't skip it like illegally. They like had a special spot for hikers. And so we didn't even have to wait in line and we got in for free. And I got a picture of some kid jumping off the diving board. It was actually really nice, this pool. Tight.
The trail also goes directly through a zoo. Like I'm literally in a zoo right now.
There's Floss.
Weirdest day. I found a rattlesnake, but this one's behind the glass, so it's all good. Look at that thing. Seen enough of these guys.
That's not a small one, too.
Oh, this bear was really sad. He was not having a good
Kind
time.
of sad.
There's like birds picking at him and shit. It was sad. In the zoo, obviously.
Last post. I'm now crossing the Hudson River. Check it out. Pretty lit.
Pretty lit. Oh, good old Kent, Connecticut. Oh, I guess I didn't film anything. I'll make this story brief, but what am I doing here? Excuse me. So, should I even tell the story? It's not even in the video. Kent, Connecticut was a shit show. Kent, Connecticut was the other town that we went into without any plan on where we were going to stay. We thought we would just find like an easy spot somewhere on the outskirts of town to camp. We didn't. We got kind of drunk at this bar. I ate an entire pizza. Flossie ate most of a pizza, and Indy ate an entire pizza. Indy ended up throwing up later from the pizza. We tried to sleep in a bathroom they had in town, and the lights kept coming on because there was a motion sensor, so we couldn't do that, and we ended up just walking back to the trail like midnight. It sucked. That's a short version. Kent, Connecticut sucked, but the beer was good.
Right now I'm in northwestern Connecticut. Yesterday my mom and my sister stopped by on a road trip to pick me up, and I got to take a day off with them, so thank you guys for that. And today I'm going to be in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Hell yeah, I was excited to get to Mass. Go Bruins. Pretty sure I said that.
1,500 miles.
Uh-oh, we're going to get an ad.
It's a lot of walking.
Oh, shit.
Still got a ways to go.
Sorry, guys.
Could you go a day with...
We'll mute him. Skip. Okay.
It's a
Back
lot
to
of
the
walking.
video.
Still got a ways to go. Welcome to Massachusetts,
I was pumped.
home of the Boston Bruins, best hockey team in the NHL.
Oh, shit, they're playing right now, actually.
I walked here from Georgia. I'm crazy. It's my first full day in Massachusetts. It feels really good because the next state I'm gonna cross into in 4 or 5 days is gonna be Vermont, which obviously I'm from Vermont and I've already done that section of the trail, so life is good.
Oh, yeah. I got picked up by one of my college friends in Massachusetts, and I think I had sent a new pair of shoes to his house or something. And so these are the same exact shoes, the same exact size, but this one obviously has 700 miles. This one has 0 miles. So that should show you, look how fucked up those shoes were. I probably should have gotten new shoes a good 150 miles before this. That's pretty brutal. I went through 3 full pairs of shoes and then another like quarter pair of shoes. So 3 1/4 pair of shoes, I'll say.
I'm in a pretty good mood today. I'm very excited about 3 things. And you probably don't care what they are, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The first thing I am very excited about is the fact that it's finally cool. It finally feels like fall's on the way. It's been really, really humid the past couple weeks, and it's just uncomfortable to hike in, so I'm stoked on that. Second thing that I'm excited for is the fact that from here on out, there's pretty much no chance of me seeing a rattlesnake or a copperhead. I quite literally out-hiked their range. They don't come this far north on the trail, so that's good. And the last thing that I'm excited for is that either tomorrow evening or the next day, I'm going to be in Vermont. I got dropped off in northern Georgia, and I walked from there all the way back home to Vermont, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, I was in a very good mood that day, as you could see. The weather was cooling off, like I said. It had been super hot like for so much of this hike, and it finally cooled off. We still got a few more hot days after this that I remember very distinctively, but overall it started to feel like fall was kind of approaching a little bit that day. What did I say? The second thing was the rattlesnake. So yeah, after that very first rattlesnake incident that you guys saw at the beginning of this live stream, hopefully, I looked up like what the range of rattlesnakes was, because I knew we didn't have them up here in Vermont, because like I've never seen one up here. So I knew at some point I was gonna like get past what their range was, and I looked it up, and it was like southern to central Massachusetts. And so at that point, I was obviously confident that I had out-hiked their range, and trust me, I was very excited about this. I was very excited. That's one less thing you have to worry about and deal with out there. So yeah, that was a good feeling for sure. And then I knew I was going to be in Vermont in a few days, and I'll just save that for the next few videos here because yeah.
I'm on the summit of Mount Greylock, which is the highest mountain in Massachusetts. Just beyond me over there, I can see into Vermont. Feels good. Nice cool day. Feels good to be in the mountains again. On May 14th, I got dropped off in northern Georgia.
This is a good day.
And as of today, I walked my ass all the way home. Check it out.
So that was me getting to the Vermont border, in case you didn't realize what the sign said there. The 3 most, right, I'm going to try to say it, pivotal moments of my entire hike, not counting the beginning, I guess, were when I made it to Harper's Ferry halfway through, like we saw already. When I finished the trail on Mount Katahdin, and when I made it to Vermont. Because like I think I said it there, when I first started the trail, like Vermont was so far away that it might as well have been as far as Katahdin. It was so far away that the prospect of making it to Vermont was no different in my head than the prospect of finishing the entire trail. And so when I finally made it there, I was like, fuck. Like, it felt so good. Like, obviously, like, I know the Vermont part of the trail very well. I'd hiked it a few times before my Appalachian Trail through hike. And so making it to Vermont, like Michael said, I might cry. Like, I might cry. No, that was seriously, like, one of the best moments of my entire through hike. Hands down, for sure. You guys get the point. Vermont's sick. All right, keep it rolling.
So the first 100 miles of Vermont coincide with a different trail called the Long Trail. And I've already hiked the Long Trail twice, being from Vermont, so the next 100 miles are definitely familiar territory, which is cool. When I started this hike, it was pretty intimidating.
Oh, I think right here is when I say the thing about it being as close as Vermont, or as far as Katahdin, rather.
And Vermont may as well have been just as far away as Katahdin, the end of the trail. So the fact that I made it this far is pretty damn incredible.
Look at my beard. My beard's getting pretty gnarly here, too. The funny thing is, I felt like Vermont was as far away as Katahdin, but once I actually got there, I was like, fuck, I still got like over 500 miles to go.
Right now I'm at Kid Gore Shelter. 6 years ago, when I was 16, I tried to hike the Long Trail, and I made it here about 25 miles in, and I quit. I quit the trail. I couldn't do it. And now I walked here from Georgia, so it feels pretty good.
It's all to the spot. I got my trail name.
When I hiked the Long Trail 2 years ago, the shelter that I stayed at last night is a place that I stayed, Story Spring Shelter, and I just passed the shelter that I ended at that day. So I did what would have been a full day back then, before 1 o'clock, and I've still got about 6 to go.
That made absolutely no fucking sense. What the fuck? What was that?
When I hiked the Long Trail 2 years ago, the shelter that I stayed at last night is a place that I stayed, Story Spring Shelter, and I just passed the shelter that I ended at that day. So I did what would have been a full day back then, before 1 o'clock, and I've still got about 6 to go.
Okay, I think I know what I'm saying, but that made no sense.
Also, if anybody that sees this happens to live in Manchester Center, Vermont, a couple hikers and I could really use a shower and somewhere to stay tonight. If not, it's all good. We'll just go back to the trail, but yeah, we could really use a chance to get cleaned up.
That plea did not work. Nobody hit me up, and we stayed in a hotel, and it was fine.
This is what it's come to, folks. I'm begging for a place to stay on Instagram, and I'm eating Doritos with a spoon because they're too crushed to eat with my hands.
It worked out fine.
I'm going to show you guys how to hitchhike real quick. Ready?
This is in Rutland, Vermont.
It's that simple. Nope. And nope. And just like that, I'm at McDonald's.
Yeah, so I went into Rutland, Vermont there, and one of my friends who I grew up with actually was going to Castleton University at the time, and Castleton was like 20 minutes from Rutland. And so I hitchhiked into Rutland, and then my friend Ryan picked me up, and I went and spent a night with him and my friend Sean as well. They lived together in Castleton, which was really bizarre because I had just graduated. At this point, it's August 2018, so I had graduated in May, so I wasn't that long out of college, but I've been on this through hike, and then all of a sudden I'm thrust back onto a college campus, and I'm in the cafeteria here. There's all these college kids around me. It was also like the move-in weekend for them too, so I don't even think their classes had started yet. So like everyone just got back to campus. I was very thankful to be there with them and everything. So Ryan and Sean, thank you if you see this. But it was a interesting vibe, if I'll say that. Like through hiker who just graduated college, all of a sudden is thrown back into college in the middle of his through hike at the first day of class. It was weird, but it was a good time. And I took a 0 the next day.
The last 2 days have been among the most miserable on the entire Appalachian Trail. Mother Nature had to give us one last big middle finger and throw 2 days of extremely humid weather at us, which really sucked. I'm pretty much soaked head to toe in sweat right now. The chafing is really bad. It's just not a good situation. But thankfully, we just made it to camp. We're calling it early today. The heat.
Oh yeah, that sucks. So, like I said a few minutes ago, when I got to Massachusetts, I felt like it was finally starting to cool down a little bit, like fall was coming, and it felt like that for a number of days. But then right when we were like, I think it was our last day in Vermont, all of a sudden we got hit with another heat wave, and it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And we were planning on doing like a really long day so that we could get into Hanover, New Hampshire the next day, like early, and do like this whole thing. And it was so hot that we ended up hiking like half the miles we planned on that day, and it sucked. Clearly you could tell how pissed off I was about that there, but it's all good.
It's just not a good situation. But thankfully, we just made it to camp. We're calling it early today.
And now we go into Hanover.
The heat.
Actually, this is when we cross into New Hampshire. Look at that. Vermont into New Hampshire. I'd crossed through here one time before on a section hike a few years before this, but it felt a lot better having walked there from Georgia than just having walked there for like 2 days. We got another super chat here from American Hiker 69. I was going to say, hey buddy, sorry I'm late, long day. American Hiker 69, it's about time you got in here, bud. Welcome. Welcome. And thank you for your super chat. And I'm American Hiker 69, you really missed out because you got to watch my camera battery run out, me take a pee in the background of the audio, and almost have the camera fall over all within like the span of about 3 minutes. So you missed out, bud. But thank you for joining, and thank you for your super chat. Anyways, welcome to New Hampshire, everybody. This felt really good.
I am in New Hampshire. Hopefully, the next time I'm in Vermont will be after successfully completing the Appalachian Trail.
I was vibing there, dude. I was fucking vibing, like for real. Crossing into New Hampshire also felt really good. I had hiked a lot in the White Mountains prior to my through hike of the Appalachian Trail, so like I hadn't hiked all of the AT in New Hampshire, but I had hiked a lot of it. I was very familiar with the Whites. I had been driving through there and hiking there like for a long, long time, and so this is also like very familiar terrain to me, which felt really good because when I started, I was down in Georgia and I was stepping on rattlesnakes almost, which was not familiar to me at all. So now I'm up here in New Hampshire. I'm fucking chilling, and I'm sitting in Hanover, New Hampshire on move-in weekend for Dartmouth College here, and I think I talk about that.
Right now I'm in Hanover, New Hampshire, and it's kind of funny because this is where Dartmouth College is, so there's all these Ivy League kids and professors walking around, and then there's just me covered in dirt, haven't showered in a couple days. Nice contrast.
That was really funny because I got there to town, that is, a little bit before my friends, and I was just sitting on a bench in like literally the middle of the town, and like there's tons of people there. Like I said, it was move-in weekend for Dartmouth College, like professors, kids, their parents, fucking senators, probably a bunch of crazy friggin' college people, like Ivy League, like prestigious kind of vibe, you know? And like normally when I was in town, if I had spent like an hour sitting on a bench like I did in that circumstance, there'd be at least like a couple people that would like come up to me and just be like, oh, like, are you through hiking? Like locals that kind of know like what's going on or whatever, or like people that are just curious. But I sat there for an hour at least. It might have been longer. And none of these Ivy League douchebags said anything to me, which was kind of sad, but also kind of funny because like it's expected. But anyways, we got another super chat from American Hiker 69. Thank you, American Hiker 69. He said, dang sucks, I missed it, referring to my crazy mishaps a few minutes ago. Did a 32-mile trip in the Red River Gorge. Kyle, wish you joined. I will never hike in the Red River Gorge. I would rather pee on camera again. That's not true. I didn't pee on camera. I would rather pee on the microphone again. I didn't pee on the microphone. I peed. You guys know what I'm fucking talking about, okay? I would rather do that again than hike in the Red River Gorge. Ever. It's not going to happen. But thank you for your super chat. and your Patreon support, because American Hiker 69 is a Patreon supporter. By the way, guys, if I didn't gross you out too much earlier with my peeing thing, I should probably just stop talking about it. Then you should join the Patreon. Yeah. It's pinned in the chat here. It's also linked in the description. Patreon, I know like you guys hate it when people ask for money, but I'm just saying like Patreon is the best way to support this channel. Very big announcements coming soon. Definitely going to need the support on Patreon when may or may not be going full-time hiker trash for a little while. So, if you like this content, check out the Patreon pinned in the chat and link in the description. All right, back to this. How'd you do my plug there?
It's a beautiful day in New Hampshire today. Check this out. Look at all those trees. Good nature. In a couple days, I'm going to be in the White Mountains, which I'm really looking forward to because I've hiked there a lot, and they're beautiful. I've already hiked the 48 4,000-foot peaks in the Whites, so I'm going to be revisiting some familiar territory. I just hope the weather's nice because when you're high above tree line like you are on the Whites, things can get pretty dicey during a thunderstorm. Hiking, miles, trail, Appalachian, White, mountain, trail, hiking, feet, trees, miles, hiking, trail, Appalachian, hiking, trail.
American Hiker 69, $1.99 super chat. He's paying me to tell me he said, haha, sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. All right. Thank you for the super chat, American Hiker 69. Thank you for your Patreon support. I just screwed myself up there.
I'm in the Smart Mountain Fire Tower right now. Pretty sketchy coming up here. Wind's blowing pretty good, but freaking sweet. Getting a taste of the Whites. Today's a sick day. I'm going up the first peak in the Whites, Mount Moosilauke, 4,802 feet. Beautiful day, supposed to be nice weather all day. Good shit.
It wasn't.
I guess I only have 400 miles left too. I remember when I made it 400 miles in, I was so stoked.
Yeah.
And now I've only got 400 left.
Hell yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That was a good feeling.
Right now I'm in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Went up and over Moosilauke, whatever it's called. Pretty rough climb down. This town is absolutely packed because it's a holiday weekend, which we didn't realize. Pretty crazy. I don't know what I'm... Right now I'm on the summit of South
I'm trying to pause it. Sorry. It was... Whoa.
Realize?
Why did I copy all that? There we go. It was really cool to be in Lincoln, New Hampshire, because I had been there a lot before this. So I was very familiar with the town. So yeah, it just felt good.
Pretty crazy. I don't know what I'm... Right now I'm on the summit of South Kinsman Mountain in the Whites. I did this mountain a couple years ago, but I forgot how tough it was and it kicked my ass.
I was pissed in this.
The Whites are no joke, especially carrying a full pack. Most of the AT has switchbacks that kind of zigzag up mountains so that they're not quite as steep and rough, but here in the Whites they don't do that. They just make the trails go straight up, and it's a bitch.
Look at my hair and my beard right in this compared to now. That's fucking funny. Yeah, I was really pissed in this. It was really hot that day. This was the last like super hot day of my entire through hike. And I remember I was pissed. I was like, it's September now. I'm in the Whites. It's supposed to be cold here. I was like, why am I still getting heat like this? I was mad, but it worked out. This was the last hot day, like I said. We got a couple super chats here. RG Nighthawk said, here's a beer from one of your Canadian supporters. RG Nighthawk, thank you very much. Where are you from in Canada? Are you from Prince Edward Island? Are you from Thunder Bay, Ontario? Are you from British Columbia? Like somebody was earlier, Paul, I think. Where are you from? Are you from Saskatchewan? That's right. I know my Canadas. Are you from Yellowknife? Up in the... Is that the Yukon or is that Northwest Territories? I don't fucking know. But anyways, thank you for your super chat. And then we got another one here from M. Soko, who supports the channel a lot. M. Soko comments on almost all my videos and always does super chats whenever I live stream. So M. Soko, thank you very much. M. Soko said, mad that American Hiker 69 wasn't here earlier to place bets with me on how long it was going to take for a piss break from old squirrel bladder. Oh, come on. I was live streaming for like an hour before I pissed. You know how hard it is to drink 2 PBRs and not pee for an hour? Come on. But thank you for your $5. Come on, guys. Lexi said, or wait, no, sorry, not Lexi. Minty Mush said, a rare glimpse at Angry Kyle. I think referring to this here. Yeah, I was pissed. That shit sucked. This climb was really steep, and it was really hot, and I was just like not feeling well physically. Like, yeah, it sucked.
The Whites. I did this mountain a couple years ago, but I forgot how tough it was, and it kicked my ass coming up here. The Whites are no joke, especially carrying a full pack. Most of the AT has switchbacks that kind of zigzag up mountain.
I remember there was another thru hiker up there that I'd never met before, and I was like bitching to her, and she was in like a really good mood, and I kind of felt like an idiot afterwards because I was like, damn, that girl's in such a good mood, and I just like ruined her mood.
Mountains so that they're not quite as steep and rough, but here in the Whites, they don't do that. They just make the trails go straight up, and it's a bitch. Right now I'm on Franconia Ridge. I hiked this in July of 2015, and I couldn't see a single thing because it was too cloudy. So this is a nice little surprise.
Flossie's coming up here in a minute.
That's where we're going next.
This is a really special day on Franconia Ridge. I had been there before. Like I said, I've been to the Whites a bunch, but Mullet Mike and Flossie had never been there. And the Whites are like a very infamous, or not infamous. They're very like, what's the right word for this? A very like special place on the trail. That's not really the word I meant, but a lot of thru hikers speculate about the Whites before they get there. They're like, oh, like it's gonna be really hard, or like, oh, it's gonna be so crazy. Like the Whites like have this reputation on the trail, and I was one of the only thru hikers that I met that had actually hiked there before, like pretty extensively. And so Mullet Mike and Flossie were both like a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, probably in a good way as well as a bad way about getting there. And I kept telling them like, don't worry, like the Whites, like they're hard, but like they're so much fun. Like they're probably going to be the dopest part of the trail. Like I'm telling you guys. And they didn't really believe me until they got there. And this day on Franconia Ridge was amazing. Flossie still talks about this day sometimes, like how like amazing it was for him. And you can see it in his eye in just a second here. Like you can see how stoked he was. I remember this super well. It was a great day.
Flossie, yeah. Tell the good people what's going on right now.
Well, we're on Franconia Ridge in the White Mountains. Don't get no better than this, baby.
Up here on the summit of Mount Garfield, straight ahead there, that's a mountain called Owl's Head. Hiked that a few years ago. That's Franconia Ridge, that's where I was earlier. Pretty damn sweet. Off in the distance there, that's Mount Washington. I'm heading up there. I'll be
Can't really see it.
about a mile below the top tonight, and should be going over there in the morning. It's the highest peak in the Whites, highest in the Northeast. Today is a tough day. Only doing about 12 miles, but pretty much all of it is uphill. I've already gotten over the first peak, Mount Webster, and I've got about 3 more to go.
This is on the presidential traverse.
The base of Washington.
This right here is at Lake of the Clouds Hut, which is a very famous spot in the White Mountains. Beautiful. Good to camp up there. Did a work for stay there. We got a super chat here from Felix. Felix said, "Ha! Great that you know about Prince Edward Island." I don't know much about it. I just know it exists and that it's a province. It was my home for a few years before I moved to Toronto, then to New Jersey. Hiked the presidentials for a few times. Hell yeah! Well, Felix, thank you for the $10 super chat. I don't know much about Prince Edward Island, but I know it exists. Just thought I'd flex my Canadian knowledge a little bit there. The only provinces I've ever been to are Ontario and Quebec, though, I think. Yeah. I've never been anywhere else in Canada. Whoa. Anyways, back to Lake of the Clouds Hut here on the presidential.
Now I'm on the summit of Mount Washington. It's very windy out there, so
Oh, there's my sunglasses.
I can't really go outside because you won't be able to hear anything I'm saying. But yeah, it's a beautiful day and very cold. Ready? There it is.
Washington, baby.
Just up there. Good stuff.
Oh, this is really cringy. I don't want to play this for you guys.
I'd like to give a shout out to Evan, who's been following my hike on Instagram apparently. He ran into me as I was leaving Lake the Clouds hut. He said, "What's up?" So Evan, thank you for the support, and I hope you have a good hike.
I guess it wasn't that cringy, but yeah, this guy, I didn't even have that many followers on Instagram at all. Like probably a couple hundred, but I just happened to get recognized by somebody who was following me on Instagram. So that was the first time that, actually, kind of the first time that it ever happened to me, which was funny because I didn't even have that many followers back then. But yeah, it's kind of cringy. I was really excited about it, clearly.
Right now I'm on one of the Wildcat Peaks. Straight ahead is Mount Washington. I was up there yesterday. There's Mount Adams, and to the right is Mount Madison. I was also up there yesterday. Gonna be cold tonight. Got a couple more miles to hike today, and it occurred to me earlier today that today is my second to last day in New Hampshire. Tomorrow's my last full day in New Hampshire, and then I'm gonna be in Maine, the last state on the 18th. In fact, if you actually look up above me, out that way, that is Maine. It's so close I can see it. Once I get to that border, I'll have about 281 miles to go, a couple weeks, and that'll be done. I've still got about 14 or 15 miles to go until the border, but it's pretty crazy. Been going this whole time, started in Georgia, and I'm about to be in the last state on the trail.
Yeah, clearly it's a pretty big deal to make it to the Maine border on the Appalachian Trail. I was excited.
So this is what...
Oh shit. Okay. There's a clip coming up of Flossie when we make it to the border. He literally looks like he's like a deranged homeless person. It's kind of funny. Hold on. It's coming up. Not this clip, but one of the next ones.
What I'm dealing with right now. I'm about to be in the last state on the trail. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. I have to get myself up this when I have a full pack with 3 days worth of food. See, if I try to go that way, I'm gonna get covered in mud. If I try to go that way, I'm probably going to fall backwards and hurt myself. Fortunately, I am a savage, and I was able to get myself up without being totally covered in mud and without falling. The truth is, there's shit like this every single day, and I've gotten pretty good at it. Right now, I'm near the top of the aptly named
Mount Success.
The last mountain in New Hampshire. I don't know if I'm going to have service in 2 miles at the Maine border. If I do, then I'll post, but if not, next time you hear from me, I'll be in Maine. I made it to Maine, the last state. We made it to Maine, bye-bye.
I love that. Let's watch that again.
Made it to Maine, the last state. We made it to Maine, bye-bye.
We literally look like we're losing our minds in this.
I made it to Maine.
Look at me.
Last state. We made it to Maine, bye-bye. I am in Rangeley.
He was excited there too because Flossie's from Maine, so that was like when I made it to Vermont, that was like his moment there. He made it to his home state. Here's another eating challenge here.
Last state. We made it to Maine, bye-bye. I am in Rangeley, Maine, and I'm gonna try to put this huge plate of nachos inside of my body. It might not fit, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. Where'd those nachos go?
It was actually pretty easy. It wasn't that bad.
They're in my stomach. Because I eat like a freaking animal.
Yeah, that actually wasn't that bad. That plate of nachos. M. Soko with the $5 super chat saying, "We made it to Maine, bye-bye." I see, I'm so bad at it. It's just like that New Jersey thing. Bye-bye. I can't do it. I've embarrassed myself so much on this live stream tonight. But my M. Soko, thank you. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Everyone who's done a super chat tonight. Everyone who's tuned in and watched me reminisce tonight. I appreciate it. Only a few minutes left to go here. I saw somebody a few minutes ago saying that where was it? Michael said, you only have 5 minutes of video for Maine. Kind of disappointed there. Look, a lot of Maine did not have cell service, okay? So, first of all, it was hard to film. Second of all, I was so close to the end. Remember, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't filming this thinking that someday it would be viewed by thousands of people on YouTube and someday I would be talking about it and reacting to it live in front of 100 people or whatever. Like, that did not cross my mind. So I didn't film consistently. So I think in Maine I was just like so close to being done, and I also didn't have service for a good chunk of this state, and so I just didn't film as much. All right, back to the show.
Officially,
Whoa. Yeah, who orders a burger on a salad? The fuck?
I am officially less than 200 miles from the end of the Appalachian Trail. It's pretty crazy, and I've kind of been in like a weird, like mental, like back and forth the past couple days. On one hand, I'm really excited to be done so that I don't have to hike every single day and I can be a normal person again. But on the other hand, I'm really gonna miss this. I've had some great experiences, and it's gonna be really weird going back to normal life.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention is probably a few days before that video there is when Mullet Mike, the guy I had hiked with almost the entire trail up until that point, decided to stay behind the rest of us so that he could take a day off and rest. And I still thought at this point that he was going to catch back up to us before we finished, but unfortunately he did not. And I didn't know it at the time, but I actually found out the day that I summited Katahdin that he had gotten off the trail. So, yeah. We got another super chat from American Hiker 69, another a 99-cent super chat. Thank you very much, American Hiker 69. I want to know how much money this guy's spent on super chats for me, like over the past year. That's kind of gnarly. Actually, I don't want to know, because then he would know too, and then he would probably be like, I need to reevaluate my financial decisions. And I don't want him to do that, because he usually accounts for like half the super chat money I get doing this. So, anyways,
I've had some great experiences, and it's going to be really weird going back to normal life. I'm on the summit of Bigelow Mountain, Avery Peak. It's very foggy today, and this morning I got woken up by a moose wandering through our campsite. So
true story.
that's how things are going here. Right now I'm on top of Pleasant Pond Mountain. For the first time in the entire trail, I can see Mount Katahdin with my own eyes.
That was a good feeling.
Still pretty far away. Still got about 140 miles left to hike, but the end is in sight. On Friday, it was really cold and it rained. And being cold and wet really sucks. I was kind of cursing the trail then, just really ready to be done. But now that the weather's nice, feeling good.
Yeah, I was pretty ready to be done at this point. I hate to say it, but yeah, I was so close to the end at this point. I was, yeah, it was getting tough. This was the hardest part of the entire trail mentally for me, was the last 2 weeks probably. I never thought about quitting at this point. I knew I was close, I wasn't going to quit, but I had to just suck it up, man. It was hard. I've said this before, Maine was by far the most mentally tough part of the entire trail for me.
Ready to be done. But now that the weather's nice, feeling good. I did manage to hike almost 18 miles in 6 hours on Friday because I just was too cold to stop moving. So at least I got something out of it, I guess.
That sucked.
I don't know.
Right now, I'm in Monson, Maine, taking a day off today, waiting out
Look at
this
my beard.
rainstorm. And tomorrow, I'm going to be entering the 100-mile wilderness, which is the longest stretch of trail without any road crossings, without any chances to resupply. Now, I only have enough space in my pack to carry about 4 or 5 days worth of food, which means I'm going to have to do a number of 20-mile days to get through it. So that's going to suck, but good news is once I get through it, I'll pretty much be done. Once I get through the 100 miles, I really only have about 15 miles left to the top of Katahdin. So pretty much just going to be making this final dash, and hopefully all will go as planned and I'll be done the trail. It's really weird to think about how I'm almost done this. I've been doing this since May 14th, just shy of 5 months. And once I get through this next 100, I'll be back to normal life. Writing code for a living.
Little did I know I'd start a YouTube channel. Oh, my battery's flashing again. All right, we got to wrap this up. But first, we got a super chat from Preston, $1.99, another one from Preston. Preston said, still rocking the frog togs? Yes, I am, although I have gone through a few different pairs from my AT through hike since then, but I am still rocking the frog togs. Sorry, Preston. I'm going to keep the answer short there because I want to not have my camera die again. We're almost done. Oh, shit. We only got like 2 minutes left.
We have less than 100 miles to go on the Appalachian Trail. 2 digits. When I started, that number was 2,190. And now it's less than 100.
Woohoo!
Feels good.
It did feel good. But I was also still like very
In the
ready
clouds.
to be done.
Can't see a damn thing on a barren mountain.
I remember actually, this is the clip. Shut up, Kyle. Getting ahead of myself.
That's it right there.
You got it?
This was a
summit.
sick moment.
That's the end of the trail.
There's a bunch of other thru hikers up there too. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't really know that well, but like that was like the best and clearest view of Katahdin we had gotten up to that point, and like we knew we were going to be there in just a couple days. That felt good. I remember that moment very distinctly. It was wicked early in the morning, like good shit. And American Hiker 69 with another super chat saying, "Waiting on my Trail Tales invite, dude. I still haven't started Trail Tales back up. I'm working on it. But thank you for the super chat. Sorry guys, I'm trying to rush this a little bit because I don't want my camera to die again.
Right there.
You got it?
That's the summit.
That was sick.
That's the end of the trail. Just finished a 26.8 mile day, my second longest on the trail, just to be greeted by this amazing lake and sunset. 2 days left.
We ripped through the 100-mile wilderness. We did just hard days. And it was getting towards the end of the season here. This is late September, so it was getting kind of cold. No snow or anything, but yeah, we hiked hard through the 100-mile. And this was, is this Antler campsite? Am I making that up? This is a really cool campsite here in the middle of the 100-mile wilderness. And you can't really see him, but the people here is my friend Baker, who's been on Trail Tales a bunch, but I haven't really talked about him on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. But and his now wife Little Bear is also there as well, and they set up their duplex right on the water. It's really cool.
You ruined it. Right now, I am 21.2 miles from the end of the Appalachian Trail. Banging out a casual 25-mile day today, and then it's going to be 5 to the summit for a celebration tomorrow. 100-mile wilderness has been absolutely insane. Leaving Monson, I did 20 miles, and the next day I did 17. Day after that, I did 27. Yesterday, I did 22, and today, 25. But tomorrow, 5 miles to the top. That's what I've been working towards since May.
So close.
Right in front of me.
Yeah, I was
so
pumped.
Damn close. I'll be up there tomorrow.
I think
if everything goes to plan.
Yeah, hold on. M. Soko with another super chat. M. Soko, you've been hooking it up tonight. Much appreciated. Kyle, you're a good egg. Am I a good egg? Keep up with all the good work / content. Always keeping it real. Preston, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very generous tonight. And thank you. Sorry, did I say Preston there? Preston put a chat right below his. M. Soko, thank you. And also thank you to Preston, because Preston's been hooking it up too. Thank you both. Thank you to everyone who's hooking it up tonight. Thank you to everybody for just tuning into this, because we're almost at the end here. Because like this was very much a Kyle gets to reminisce about his thru hike thing. So there it is. There's the end. Ready? The picture you've seen in my thumbnails before. Boom! I did it. I hiked the whole Appalachian Trail. Bitch, if you didn't believe me, hopefully now you do. So yeah, my camera's going to die. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. This is going to do it. I'm sorry I didn't answer many questions tonight. I'm going to get back to the question and answer live streams next week. Don't worry. But I thought this was a cool little idea. This is something I've wanted to do for a while now. So thank you for tuning in. I got to pee again, and I got to kill the mic before it happens this time. So thank you all. Should have a video on Thursday or Friday, hopefully one of those 2 days, probably Friday, but I'm not exactly sure yet. And it's going to be about the Appalachian Trail. And then stay tuned next week for a huge announcement about the Calific Test Shale. You can put that one together. Now I got to figure out how to end the live stream with the software that I'm using. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. End stream. Did that work?